Alright, so I've seen a couple folks doing the cheap bike build off challenge for February, and it's now Monday the 19th of February, President's Day. So I figure what the heck, $100 USD or less, finished by the end of February. I don't think you win anything, but hell, that ain't the point. So when I bought this Barracuda from Ian at Randy's Recycled Cycles, he told me they were going out of business, and I asked him, well, do you got any other frames or anything? I mean, pretty far out. Probably already noticed I'm more of a steel frame kind of guy, but I mean, that's not why we're here. I also got this Trek 830 Antelope frame and fork set. It's the good stuff. See, it's good stuff. And I noticed it had this Suntour equipped chainstay guard on here, so I managed to track down a set of wheels that are the Sanson Suntour hubs with some Mariah rims. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good shape. Single wall rim, bent spoke or two. Came with some tires. We'll see if these can work. The person who had that wheel set had the whatever bike it came off of. Skewers, rear derailleur. Looks like it's been scratched up just a little bit. 7-speed shifter. We're most of the way there. Then I also managed to find an old pair of Suntour cranks, square taper, so that'll fit. The bottom bracket that came off of the Gary Fisher, I haven't even cleaned it up yet. Will you fit? Will you work? I think that should do just fine. So this bottom bracket came with the frame I got for the other bike I just built. That was 16 bucks, plus here's the receipt from Randy's. You got the Barracuda there. We got the Trek 830 Antelope frame, 25 bucks. The wheels and derailleur were 60. So if my math is correct, that brings us to $101. I think I can manage to get the rest from the parts bin at Bikes Together for $49 or less. Oh yeah, handlebars. I've got a few sets of bars I paid next to nothing for. Bontrager crowbar. And these I got from Round Top, Texas at the antique fair. This is the first thing that came to mind for this trek. Motorcycle bar, keeping that. Motorcycle bar, keeping that. This dyno stem I got from a Franken bike in Houston about 6 years ago. I can't imagine I paid more than $5 or $6 for this. Not getting rid of these Primo mustache bars, these are mine. I'm gonna fit a few and see what they look like. This one, June, pretty rad. I got it for $5 at the Mid-Ohio Vintage Motorcycle Days, and they occasionally have bicycles and bicycle parts, like the Firestone here. It would be between this stem with these bars or this stem with these bars. Different vibe. Both could be cool. Oh man, I'm going out of town next weekend too. We're just gonna have to knock this one out. So yeah, 10 days, $49. Alright, so if you just tuned in, we've got the bearings and lower cup from Cane Creek threadless 1-inch headset. The top, because it's a threaded fork, cups are from just a standard threaded headset with bearings from the top of the Cane Creek. Inner bearing race, top cap, etc. Does this have enough clearance without a spacer? You still going? Okay, we're moving this party inside because it is getting dark. It'll be pretty cool, man. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I got my giant wrench here. It's time to figure out what we're gonna need from the old community bike shop. I don't know, man. I keep envisioning this stem with these bars upside down. I don't know, man. Man, this thing's cool. Where are my little thingies, dude? Here they are, okay. One option. Still going over there? Alright, so these wheels that I got came with a set of tires that are okay, not great. So I can try them. They have tubes, and the tubes seem to both be holding air, so I might not have to buy tubes. You know, but there's this pair of tires that were literally in the garage when I moved into this house. They look like they might be 26. So let me see what the deal is. Primal Raptor 2.1. Oh yeah, 26. So here's where we're at. We've got some tires on. Seem to be working fine. We'll see once I start riding on it. Some old Suntour hub. Shimano bottom bracket with Suntour crank. Got those Rayas on there. And yeah, I forgot about this part. I got this from Randy's downtown, but at some point someone got it from Wheat Ridge. Feels pretty good, man. It's pretty good. I got some measurements. I'm gonna take this crank arm with me. And yeah, I don't know, but I'm starting to feel like maybe the answer has been right in front of me the whole time. Dyno stem. I don't know. What do you think? Pretty mean. These can be pretty slick. I don't know how I feel about the drop bars, man. I don't know. This is where we're at the end of the first night. Okay, cranks are on. This stem, I just don't trust it. It's cool. It's got that little sharp part down the middle with the one bolt, thin aluminum. I just can't hang with it. I would, you know, the stuff I'm doing on here, I'm putting it on here, I'm thinking to myself, would I want to ride this thing? Would I trust it to shred around on it? Go off a little ramp on it maybe? The answer is no. It's got to go. These are Raya rims. I feel pretty good about. I wouldn't be going on any trails with them, but they're solid. Now, 4-bolt dyno BMX stem. Now that I can trust. Plus it's all blocky. It's just a block. They didn't contour nothing. It's kind of like the logo here. Square, hard edges. Kind of like the Suntour logo too when I think about it. So these bars were motorcycle bars that we tested out. At one point I was working at Common Motor and we were trying out different handlebars to carry on the website that would fit Honda 350s, 360s, 450s from the late 60s, early 70s. There's a lot of aftermarket motorcycle handlebars, out there. And so we brought quite a few in. I tested them. I still got pictures on with my camera somewhere of the same orange Honda 360 with 9 or 10 different pairs of handlebars on them that we thought would fit and look kind of period correct. So we tried out a few. And so this is like a pretty flat bar, pretty much totally flat, other than this nice little back sweep. So these would have worked if I liked a lower front stance, and I really don't. I like to be more upright, so I'm not gonna rock them. These, on the other hand, I really like. I had them on the long haul 450 that I rode to Michigan and back. At Mid-Ohio that year, I found some larger bars, and so I swapped them out. I left this at our buddy Mike's house. And then years later, I was coming back to Mid-Ohio, and I said, hey, Mike, you still got those bars I left there? And he brought them up there, dropped them off at our campsite. I think it was BSA style, they called it, on our distributor's website. These I really like, and I've been hanging on to them for something. Maybe to put back on the Yamaha, but I think they're going to go on this bike. I think they're going to look and feel real nice on this bike with this stem. Much better. Minimum insert is there. Let's go down to about there. Not too shabby. And these will just give a good wipe. These are still pretty cherry, man. Just about as cherry as they were when they fell off the truck. Alright, there you are. Oh yeah. What do you think? Are there handlebars in your spot? Is that the problem? I think I've made my selection. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these back so that you can have your spot. It's nice and warm. I knew I didn't need a whole millimeter. This is a weird size. This is like a 26.2. So 29th, leap year, going to see Dune 2, now 8 days away. The last chainring I found was really not set up to go on the inside of the spider. You know, I gotta say, there's a lot of people out there that are really good at doing a lot of things, right? They've done it a lot of times, and they've done it as a professional, and they consider themselves as such. And I respect that. Bike builders and mechanics, motorcycle builders and mechanics, car builders and mechanics. People who are so good at what they do. And mad respect, y'all. And if you want advice on what you're doing, you go to those people. You go to people that have the shop. Not some dude in his garage nerding out over old stuff. Don't trust me, but also don't be a jerk. I'm not saying this because people have necessarily been a jerk to me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that jaded. I just see what y'all say to each other out there. Ooh. And I'm like, dude, if you said something like that to somebody's face, you'd be such a jerk. People would never want to be around you. You'd be terrible at parties. Anyway, don't leave mean comments on people's threads. If there's one thing that I want you to get out of these bike building videos of mine, it's to be nice to strangers on the internet, dude. A lot of them are real people just doing stuff. We're just doing stuff, and this is a good way to just share. Some people write books or poetry. Some people use their job for that outlet. Some people are musicians. Some people just live it out in their daily lives in their own unique way. Sharing things with strangers on the internet is one way, decreasingly unique way. But hey, we out here. I see y'all out there too, man. All right, dude, this chainring though, this one is meant to go on the inside. for like 1x setup. Flat on the front. Got the little countersink or counterpore on the back. What does it say? It's got like a Japanese character. It says engagement ring. 110 by 36 tooth, 70/75. With these extra big little, what do you call that? Gusset. This is awesome. Bikes together in Denver, Colorado. Nice folks too. Really good advice. Used chain ring, $9.19. What I got? Hold on. I was gonna be using this. Okay, hold on. And then, oh yeah. Okay, my neighbor's probably out there hearing me in here talking to myself. I'm gonna use this hoopty saddle that came on the Firestone. That needs an old school seat post. Fortunately, I got this one. Look, it's all knurled. Anyway, rocking and rolling. Here I am talking to this thing and it's in time-lapse mode. I'm gonna bump this up because it just feels right. This is what it is with the chonky stem and the chonky seat. When I started this thing, I wasn't expecting any brown. I expected some white because of the logo, obviously. But I wasn't expecting any brown. But here we are. I think it's pretty good. I don't have any brown grips. That would be the obvious move. See, I've had worse. Far out. Feels pretty good. These wheels feel more solid than I expected. Ooh, God. The edge of the stem, dude. That's a knee buster, dude. Knee buster 5000. Forget about it. Let me put some pedals on this thing. See? Right there. First blood. I'll tell you what. Just getting a big grease blob down in the carriage bolt here. Because boy, this bolt's doing a lot of heavy duty lifting to hold up my whole behind. I think the next thing I want to do are pedals. So what are my options here? I got some plastic ones that came off the Barracuda. I got some white ones that came off the Fuji long ago. These I think would look the coolest, but they're already on a bike. I like them on this bike and I'd have to take them off, and that's extra work. These are not currently on a bike. Pretty darn similar. Maybe a little bit less tough. Maybe a little more elegante. Well, then I asked myself, between these two bikes, which one's more tough, which one's more elegante? How about that? Nah, dude. I'm doing the Barracuda ones. These are cool, but back in the bin you go. I'm gonna figure out what else to do with this Barracuda pedal. Oh! Tenderizers. That's where they're going. When I bought this Barracuda at Randy's Recycled Cycles, I asked Ian if he had any just random throwaway alloy pedals to replace the plastic ones that this had on there. And he literally had these sitting on the counter as I asked that question. He's like, yeah, take these. Which was really nice of him. And so I just put them on the Barracuda right away. They're solid, like utility grade alloy bicycle pedals. I like that. I feel like that's the same way that seat is, and it's just kind of the same way the stem is. It's like this thing will function and be a brick. If you treat it well, it will treat you well. Alright, dude. Primo meat tenderizer pedals on the Barracuda. Cool. No, test it. Okay, back to this guy. Got some pedals for you, bud. Oh, WD. Keep moving, you good. How's it going? We got pedals, crank, rear derailleur, gotta set that. Seat post. I'm stoked about this knurled seat post. I forgot I even had it. Dyno stem, motorcycle handlebars, Araya rims, Suntour equipped, ling, Tange, TNG. This is really handy to have. I like that object. I like this object too. But all we really needed from that exercise were these chainring bolts here. Still going? Yeah. Finding this chainring I can only attribute to sorting through all of the chainring that were available to me in the small chainring bin at the used bike shop. You know, the beauty of things is that they're out there, and if you need it, you can get it. Very few things are so priceless that you can't just get them if you need them and not have to hoard them and keep them to yourself. It's a shame that such a scarcity mindset has befallen us, I think. Sure, it's privileged. You kind of have, even if I wasn't, I feel like ought to be all the more reason to have that attitude. You can't be telling people that online. What is this? What is this channel? Yeah, buddy. That's a good one. I don't even know what it is. Quality. Yeah, some friends coming to town tomorrow that like their coffee with half and half, so. Before King Supers closes. Okay, the wheels with the derailleur came with a shifter here, so that's nice. Suntour goes with the derailleur. I got some old V-brakes I'm gonna try, and some really cool levers I found in the discount part bins at Bikes Together. Really cool, huge. I mean, we're talking a whole hand. But you know, V-brake levers are different, so I wanted to just make sure. I know that these are long pull, and so all I'm going to do is make sure. So this is even longer pull than this one. So these are definitely V-brake levers. Clean them up first though. You just got to give it the business, you know? You just got to get in there, really get off the bad stuff and put on the good stuff. By good stuff, I mean love, care. You're like, you're cool. You're going to like having this. You want the bike to be glad when you gave it this or that thing. Yeah, alright. Dyna 727 V-brakes. Okay, let's see if we can't fit a chain and a couple of cables on this thing. It doesn't do you much good on the outside, but you do want to get some lubrication on the inside of the housing. You get a little drop on top, it just sucks it down in there. Cable guide. We're going with that one. Alright, this is the trick that homeboy at Bikes Together taught me. Seat the cables. Make sure you got it nice and tight down here. And you want to just kind of give it a good yank. The ends of the housing where you cut them and they're kind of loose, and now they're in the little ferrules and they're ready to get used at a very specific length, indexed over and over again. So you want to make sure they're smashed in real good so your length isn't varying over time. So we got that. Now we're going to reset the derailleur. When I put the Fuji together, I bought a new chain, this chain, right over here, and you're golden. Here we're going to take out a chunk of chain if you can, and you're taking the pin out. If you can stop just before the pin leaves this outer link, it'll save you a lot of trouble putting the chain back together. Because getting that pin centered on that hole in the chain breaker and then pressed in straight can be a real pain in the you-know-what. I'm glad I managed to just edge it up there before my pin popped out. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's pretty even. Yeah, it feels all right. Noodles. Alright, well, I kid you not, I had some white cable housing in my scrap bag of stuff over there on the truck. And these two front brake pieces are exactly the lengths that I need them to be. And I didn't have to cut them at all. So, it's an omen. But I'm still going to put a few more drops. Das Boot. There they are again. And they're tearing around out there. The last noodle. Alright. It's pinching. That's pretty even there, man. Some body geometry, ergo grips. I can only imagine how cool the bike was these came off of, but they're incredibly comfortable. So I'm gonna use them. I can just slide them on. Move this whole thing around to the other side. All right. Okay then. Well, it was a fairly successful shakedown run and photo sesh. Fairly comfortable. Brakes work pretty good. Derailleur probably needs a little bit of adjustment, but I can get to the top and bottom without issue.